In this build, I wanted to create a mock inspired by the original Michael Myers house from the classic Halloween movie from 1978. This was a favorite of mine growing up, and I remember watching this many times with my brother. I looked online for some reference photos to the original house, and it's mainly made of siding. I chose the tan color, which I felt resembled the original pretty closely. I kept the tile pieces going horizontally to mimic that siding appearance. I made the shape of the windows similar to the original home, being thinner on the first floor and wider on the second. The house had a very nice front porch with pillars. I also included more of a rundown look to the roof using various cheese slope pieces in different directions. As for the lawn, there were two big bushes on each side, and I made the grass look overgrown and unkept. For details to add a little more interest to the scene, I included a small mailbox, a tree with fall colors implying it's in that October time of year, along with a Halloween pumpkin out front for trick-or-treating, and a number address sign. And last but not least, the iconic Michael Myers figure himself that inspired this build. In this build, I wanted to create a Freddy Krueger boiler room from my imagination by including the colors from his outfit as the dominant color scheme: red, black, and gray. Freddy is known for his scissor gloves, and I just had to include that somehow, which inspired me to make a huge sign with his name and glove displayed. This gave me the ability to practice some greebling and try to give the sign a more mechanical, industrial look by using random small Lego pieces for detail. I try to give this scene a worn down, old, abandoned look with the walls sort of coming apart, some bricks missing, and exposing the structure behind the wall. To achieve that industrial look, I used Technic panels and just figured out more ways to blend Technic parts with standard brick pieces. Moving down the ladder, I covered the wall with a giant fan and played around with some small panel pieces for detail. And to achieve a more dreary look, I used chains for the railing of the stairs and bar fence pieces. Lots of greebling was done for the main wall in black with small hints of red. I tried to make it look as mechanical as possible with a mix of Technic, gears, rubber bands, and any other random black pieces I had in my inventory. As for the furniture, I felt no Freddy boiler room would be complete without a desk displaying some sort of torture tools, a newspaper to read about himself, a toolbox, a lantern, and a timing device. Other small details to make the room interesting that I used were some cleaning tools, which he was originally a janitor at a school, a dolly, and some trash. The main attraction of the room, though, is the boiler itself. I wanted to use my biggest flame pieces and to be able to have the gate door open to create this scene of Freddy trying to stick one of his victims inside. Under the fire, there's a place to store some firewood, logs with printed pieces. As for the border, I made it with a stripe pattern mimicking the striped sweater he always wears, and included these daggers in reference to the knives on his gloves. Last but not least, Freddy himself, which inspired this boiler room mock. In this mock, I wanted to create tents that looked like they were made of cloth. I don't have the Lego City cloth tent piece, so I made my own out of paper. I've always wanted a fancy North Face tent to camp in, so I used the computer to print it on the template and give these tents a nice logo. Some of the characters I included are a group of friends camping, since that seems to be a common plot in horror movies. I have one character roasting a marshmallow, another fishing, a woman picking up the camping supplies with her dog next to her, and a guy making his way over to help. This car is the Mercedes AMG that came in a Speed Champion set, but I modified it to look like it's going camping with a bike rack on the end and some gear on the roof. I think it's a perfect looking car to go camping in. I also tried to make it look like the car drove up, leaving behind tire tracks. I wanted to make the scene look more alive, so I included some small animals like squirrels and a few different birds. I also have some butterflies flying around the trees. I did want to add a variety of trees to bring some of the color to the scene, and figured a fall setting would give it that pop of color. As for the backdrop, I think having one really enhances the overall look, and recently LEGO released a new art set called Japanese Cherry Blossom Landscape, which I have not gotten, but I loved seeing some of the building techniques used in that set, which inspired me to create these background cliffs with some mini pine trees. I would have added more clouds in the sky, but I only have these two pieces, and to give it more of a scary vibe, I added some bats in the sky. This big cardboard moon piece is an official LEGO element that I reused from the Nightmare Before Christmas set. And I just loved this piece because it's so useful if you're making a sky background for your build. And honestly, it was my favorite LEGO piece from the Nightmare Before Christmas set. As for the small pond, I included a small little deck to step on. Translucent blue pieces is another LEGO element I don't have much of, and mostly have the translucent blue cheese slope pieces, which, because I was lucky enough to find this on the pick-a-brick wall at the LEGO store. Since it's not the flat tile pieces, I included a small waterfall to make the water look like it has more splashes, to explain why it's not completely flat, calm water. Cheese slopes make it look like the water has more movement, in my opinion. Some other small details I added include drinks for the campers, some cooking supplies, and a weapon for Jason. Last but not least, and the inspiration behind this build, is my Jason figure, which I have hiding within the pine trees. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the tour of my horror Mocs.